Burp, and today I'm gonna talk about actually a show that's out on Netflix, and you might have heard about it. It's called The Dragon Prince, and The Dragon Prince, I've been hearing stuff about it because everybody's like, oh, it's made by like the same people that did like Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, you know, I checked it out one day, and there's only like 13 episodes out or something. They're like 20 minutes each. I watched this all in like one afternoon. I was actually a little bit skeptical about it because I heard my friend actually, she watched it, and then she told me that she wasn't actually that impressed. So besides my friend's review, I went in totally blind. This series basically takes place in like this fictional world where, like, you know, there's like basically a giant continent. Half of it is magical stuff where there's like, you know, elves and interesting stuff, and like it's ruled by, or at least it was like protected, like the borders was protected by a figure called the Dragon King. On the other side is the boring human side with like kingdoms and stuff. The human side, they attacked the other side, and then they killed the Dragon King, and they also supposedly killed the prince. So at the beginning of the show, there are elf assassins that are going into the kingdom, and they're going to try to kill the king and his son in revenge for killing the Dragon Prince and the king. So each side is like mad at each other, and there's like this kind of racism that goes on between them, and there's magic and whatnot. So it's a fantasy medieval kind of world. They explain like how the magic works and all that, and it's like it's not touched on too much, but a little bit in actually the course of just the first season, but it is explained. The series basically is one narrative, and each episode isn't really that self-contained. Like, you think about, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender. When I was a kid, I just watched everything, like, out of sync. This is the kind of show where you more or less want to watch everything, like, in order. So that's just one thing to consider. The main plot of the story is basically, like, three heroes who have to travel to reach, like, the elf side. So from the human side to the elf side, so they're all traveling together. So it's a traveling group idea again. And, of course, they're composed of both human and there's an elf, so it makes it more interesting and more fun to watch. And of course they're being pursued by like Prince Zuko and Azula. Oh wait, actually that's the other show. So the first thing you'll notice is that Sokka is back, except it's not Sokka. It's just a quirky, funny guy with a sibling who feels like he needs to step up and live up to other people's expectations. So it's basically Sokka. The first thing you see, they actually do like an homage or whatever to Sokka by using like a sword fighting scene. To me, it just screams Sokka. He doesn't even change the voice, and a little too much Sokka. Like, I like Sokka. I'm saying his name way too much right now, but I can't distance like from him. Like right now, it's been a while since I watched this and I'm doing this video, but like I can't. What's his name? So you have Sokka, you have the little kid, which is his brother, who is the prince, the crown prince to the throne, who basically is like, I don't know, he's cute. He's not that developed, but he has like special animal whispering abilities. And then you got like my favorite character, Rayla. She's an elf. She's like an elf assassin. She looks cool. When she fights, she is pretty cool. At the beginning of the show, you get some cool action scenes with her. Towards the end, you get less of them, but it's actually explained because of the plot. The other characters are interesting enough, though, you know, you could maybe tone down the bad guy, you know, by like not making him dress up in black. Man, this show is almost pretty much like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the protagonist and the antagonist, they have a relationship before. Like, we get to see that at the beginning of the show, and then it's more clearly established when they like separate, like, who's the bad guy and who's the good guy, but then you know they have this prior relationship. So it's interesting to see and to like, you know, feel that. There's another character who in this series, I want to point out, she's deaf, and I feel like she's pretty well represented here because they don't treat it as like a poster character where she just shows up and then she's gone. It's integrated into the fabric of her character, and she just is. Like, she has like an interpreter, and the guy, he just, you know, goes off, and even that guy, he becomes like his own separate character in the end. And they take her seriously. Like, there's even some parts where she'll do a like sign language, and they don't even like translate what they're saying. I went online and then I was able to like see what she was saying. I feel this is the good way to do representation. The most obvious criticism, and the first thing you'll notice when you watch this show, is the animation. Now, you've seen in my other reviews, I'm always like, oh yeah, the animation is so good. The animation in this one, it irks you. The way that they do it is like this very kind of stop motion animation where they like, the frame rate is reduced. So it's a style, But I've seen people, they don't like it. There's like a moment where there's like a shadow that's like moving across like a flat surface. The shadow stutters, you know? That just doesn't feel right, you know? Apparently they might change it for like the next season, which I really, really think that they should, because the show is fine without this stylized animations. The scenery though is nice. So good job, guys. Overall, I think it's a show, you know, so the part with the whole Sokka thing I found was really distracting, and the pacing of the dialogue sometimes isn't that great either. And then there's the animation. So in my opinion, like, if you have a free afternoon, you can binge watch this entire series, and at least the first season. I don't know when the next one is gonna come out, but for the first season, you can binge watch it, and it's a show. It exists. If you're interested, you can check it out, but to me, I'm kind of like, you know, it exists.
And that's it. Honestly, I think I might have just stopped like watching it and just kind of had it in the background at some point even. So yeah, there's that. Happy New Year 2019! I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually watched this and I recorded this video quite a while ago, and I just never got around to actually finishing it. I mean, I did with the holidays especially. I was focused on 12 Days of Miraculous Christmas and the theory video that came out right before Christmas. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and tell me below what you think of this series if you've already watched it. And you can follow me on Twitter, or you could come hang out with us on Discord. And thank you especially to my Patreon supporters, and I will see you guys in my next video. Miss Burb out.